caught up with a friend yesterday, and this is a person, when you see him now, he's got a sports car worth probably 300,000. He's got a house worth probably 10 million. He's got a business that's probably worth 35 million. And what's interesting about this guy, that when you see him, you think, oh my God, he's so lucky. And he's not. He's not so lucky, because this is a journey that he took more than 10 years ago. And 3 years ago, he was on the street. He was sleeping in his own office. He lost his marriage. He literally lost his family, his house. He literally lost everything. He lost friends. And what was interesting talking to him yesterday was that all these people were criticizing me. All these people, all the doubters, were laughing behind my back. But what kept him going, what kept him pushing through, was that ecstatic desire, because he knew what he had to do. And at one stage I said to him, and this is what I want to talk to you about, I said, see what happens? Persistence pays off. He goes, no, wrong. Wrong, he goes, not persistence, he goes. People say persistence. Well, you could be persisting, doing the same thing over and over again and getting no results. Wrong. This is the key. Fail. But the thing is, when you fail, you try again, don't you? And what does this mean? Okay, so I've tried something and I failed. Okay, well, I try it again, fail again. You do the same things, okay. The key is, what do we learn? It's not a matter of just going in. You have to get your failures. You're going to have your problems. No self-made billionaire that I have read ever made it to where they needed to get to what their ecstatic desire was, without failure. You need to fail. That's an ingredient. If you're not failing, you're not taking enough risks, because we learn from our failures. We use that as an ingredient. Now, we've grown up in a flawed system which said, hey, failure is bad, you're out. Failure means you're no good. Failure creates doubt and fear. But what I learned yesterday, what was interesting talking to this person, because you always hear the stories, oh, he persisted, he kept on persisting, which is great. But if you're persisting with the same thing, if you keep persisting in the same position without learning, it's not a matter of persisting. Every time you fail, there's your opportunity to learn, to do the self-analysis. For you to do the self-analysis. Don't let your friend who's the doubter, or your family friend who lives in fear, do the self-analysis for you. You got to do it. And it's the people that are in the space that you're pursuing, maybe the leaders in the group. There's so much data out there today that success leaves clues. So if you're pursuing something, find out what the leaders in that industry did, or how they reacted, or did they try something new. There's so much information out there right now. It's the best time in the world right now if you want to make money. Now, so what did he do? Which was he tried a different angle. He persisted, but when he persisted, he learned. He goes, oh, I'll try it from here. Tried it. He learned. Now he tried it from up here. So you're always changing your strategy. It's not just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But every time you're changing strategy, he started to notice that he was getting closer to closing that gap. He started to close the failure gap, and then all of a sudden, he was halfway. And the beauty about this, he kept on trying something different and different angles, because let me tell you something. When you've got problems, there's thousands and thousands of ways to solve it. Yes, there's the ways that you think you can solve it. There's the typical ways that everyone tells you to solve it. When you fail and you're learning from that failure, you may try another way, a creative way. Anyway, so he told me about this. And this is quite obvious. You think, oh, well, that's pretty straightforward. But it's important because as a deep learner, we always say ecstatic desire, problems, and within that problems, you're going to attempt to solve those problems without having the skill sets and knowledge to do so that you can fail. And when you do fail and you do get that experience, it's how you react. Because if you react like most people do, I'm no good, this is not for me, I told you it won't work, yes, go home, because that's how the system coded you. It's either you're right or you're wrong, you're not good at this, get out. But successful people, and it's got nothing to do with luck, they find ways to get around it. They change the strategy, they change the angle, they change something, they do something different, they try something. Why can't you try something else? Anyway, so he was telling me this story yesterday, and every time he overcame a failure, he got closer. And then there was more failures, and he got closer. And what happened? His brain, his body, everything got accustomed to solving problems and to failing and to using those failings as food to keep growing and to find new ways. And all of a sudden, and this was this journey for him started about 10 years ago. He was so confident. He was so focused. He lost a lot. So when people say, and he gets it today, he says, well, people say you're so lucky, you got lucky. No, luck's got nothing to do. This guy was at the bottom of the bottom because he'd lost everything. And he pursued it, and he found a way. And now he lives in a beautiful house in a prestige neighborhood with some beautiful cars, got a new family, but he's got himself back up. And you would never know if you didn't know the story. And I know that story because I knew him back then. I knew when he was down. And now, the people that were kind of the doubters, they want to come back in his life. Oh, we supported you. We were criticizing you, but we were just because we wanted to make you better. There's the doubters, and then we know the ones that are out there wanting to make us better. We're not stupid. And so, never fear failure. We learn from failure. We want failure. We want mistakes. That's the deep learning education system, because it's going to rewire your brain to focus, to be adventurous, to take those risks to wherever you need to get. And because you're being creative, because you're now learning, actioning, assessing, and then trying something new, and then actioning again, and then learning, and within that you're failing, and as you're closing that gap, before you know it, your brain's changed, your mindset's changed, you're in a deep learning mode, and then it just grows exponentially because you're in that mode. And so we can always learn from people, but don't ever think, when I read about self-made billionaires of the last 50 years, they all went through hardship. They all did it hard. People always say, oh, he got lucky. Oh, he was so fortunate. Oh, the perfect timing. There's no perfect time. Now's the perfect timing. So there's a new breed of self-made billionaires that are coming out right now that you don't even know them yet. And that's just nature. That's going to happen. and they're following this process. And it's the deep learning process, and it's the deep learning mindset, and that is the only pathway to grow and to develop to the best version of yourself, because that is why you were put on this planet, to become the very, very best version of who you can be. And that is the process of solving problems towards your ecstatic desire.